Hi guys, this is Boris and I want to give you a quick tour on our advanced playlist sample. This sample application is created based on our mcontrols library, so everything that you hear, that you see over here is just controls that were dragged and dropped on that form. And the code of the sample itself is just maybe 30 lines of code where we set the controlled objects for the controls. So it was very easy for us to create it, but it still looks very good. It's very powerful. Let's take a look at it. What can it do? Okay, the first thing that you need to do when you start the playlist sample is set the output format. And Platform allows you to change the format at any time, for example during the playback, but your reader device can not handle it very well. There can be some problems, so we strongly recommend to set output video and audio formats right from the very beginning. Okay, once you've set the formats, you can play around with the playlist. This control allows you to change the playlist background. The background is shown when the playlist is stopped, so you can set it to color bars, to just a color, or set some media file, playlist, or live that will be played while the main playlist is stopped. Let's keep the color bars and get to the playlist control. Over here we can see the playlist control. It's a main control of this sample application. It allows to add and manage your playlist. Right now it's empty. Let's add some items to it. This button adds a single file. This one adds the URL. It can be a network stream or even a YouTube URL. This button adds the live source. This one adds a subplaylist. Subplaylist is a small playlist inside a main playlist. If you have several files that you want to interact just like with a single playlist item, you can add a subplaylist. This button adds a reference. What is reference? The reference is a full copy of the item in a playlist. So here is my reference for the first item. And the good thing about references is when I make some changes inside the main file, they are changed correspondingly inside the reference. So here it is. This button adds the comment. What is comment? Comment is a very powerful feature that allows you to control the platform objects right from the playlist. For example, you can start the playlist, stop it, add a comment that will show some CG item, a comment that will start the render, stop it, and all that stuff. It's not too simple, so I will not take your time describing it detailed right now. You can get it from the documentation. Okay, once you've added some items to your playlist, you can configure them just more precisely by clicking right here on this column. Double clicking. Right, let's open this configuration form. For a single file, you can change the file name, set the input and output points, set the loop for this file, change some very file specific properties. For the playlist, there's a playlist configuration form where you can choose the live source device, choose the input line, the format, and the same for audio, and initialize it at the end. Okay, here it goes. For the subplaylist, there's a subplaylist configuration form. It looks quite similar to the main playlist. You can play around with subplaylist items just like inside the main playlist, do whatever you want with them, add some more items, delete them, change the positions. Okay, that's it. This button removes the item from the playlist, and this one moves it up or down if you want to change the position of your playlist items. Okay, let's trim a bit our playlist items to make it look more to make it look nicer, to make it look cooler. Okay, here it goes. Now we can start the playback. Here is a playback control that allows us to play playlist, to pause it or stop it, and track the status right here at the bottom of the control. Let's continue the playback and go to the preview control over here. This control allows us to preview what's going on with our output stream right now. We can enable and disable audio and video preview, adjust the loudness of audio preview, set this flag to keep aspect ratio or disable it, set this flag to go to full screen, and this one enables and disables the deinterlace. This deinterlace flag takes effect on the preview only. It's very useful when you have your input stream interlaced, when you have your output stream interlaced and you want to preview it in a good deinterlaced quality. You can set this flag and your preview will be deinterlaced while the output will be still interlaced. Very useful feature when you need a good preview. Okay, right here on the left, this is the audio control where you can change the track for each item, enable or disable some tracks, tune each audio channel, enable and disable them. Well, play around with audio just like with your boombox. Okay, that's enough for the audio control. Right here we can see the track bar that allows us to scroll around the playlist to seek to some specific positions, to see what's going on over there. This is seeking just like in any common player. Okay, that's enough for that seeking. Let's get to the breaks control over here. This is a very useful control that allows us to add some breaks into the playlist items. What is break? The break is interruption of the playlist item at some point, displaying some other content, and then getting back to the main playlist item just where it was interrupted. You could use it if you need to show some commercials, show some other content right in the middle of your playlist item. Let's show how it works. Let's pause the playlist right here. Choose the first playlist item and add some breaks over here. We can add a file, a playlist, a live source, all that stuff that you can do inside the main playlist you can add as a break. Let's add some files, for example wildlife. Set the input and output points to limit the duration, for example to 5 seconds, and set the position of this break. The position is time from the beginning of the main playlist item, the time point when it will be interrupted and the break will be played. Okay, now the break is set. Let's take a look how it will be. Okay, right now our main playlist is being played and the first item will be interrupted in the 5th second over here. Show the wildlife for 5 seconds and get back to the main one. This is how the breaks work. Very useful if you need to insert the commercials. Try this feature, it's really cool. Okay, right below the breaks we can see the renderers list. Right now it shows my Ultra Studio Pro as the only connected device, but if you have several devices, all of them will be listed over here, and you can output your stream to any of these devices at any time. Okay, I've set this flag and now the stream is being sent to my external monitor. I can enable and disable at any time. These columns allow me to configure each device more precisely, like choose the output line, enable and disable keying for the Blackmagic devices, and set the input line for keying if it is enabled. So basically this control allows me to output my stream to the device. Right here under the preview we can see that beautiful control that show me where at which point am I right now. This green scroll bar on the background demonstrates the position inside the main playlist. So right now I'm on the 10th second out of 1 and 35 minutes of the main playlist. This one right here demonstrates me the position of currently played item. So right now I'm on the 17th second of the 20 seconds long item. And this one right here, this rectangle, demonstrates me what file will be played next. Right now it will be live source. You can see that when this item will be ended, I will go to my live source. Looks pretty cool. You can use it if you want to add some beautiful stuff to your application. Okay, right below that beautiful control we can see the playback speed control. You can set the fast forward. It will not work for live obviously, but if we'll change the item to the file, the playlist item to file, it will be played with high speed or lower speed, or even play backwards if you want. Here it goes. You can play back and forth, or adjust the speed using this scroll bar manually to any value that we need. Let's get it back to normal speed. Okay, right here we have that beautiful timeline control. It demonstrates us at what point of playlist we are right now. Let's stop and get to the beginning of the playlist. Okay, over here this rectangle demonstrates me a single playlist item. This is my first playlist item, and this red solid rectangle demonstrates that this is a break. So at this point the item will be broken, the break will be played, and then it will continue. This is the last frame of my item. I can click over here and move to that position in a playlist at any time. This is the first playlist. This is the first playlist item. This is the second one, and this is the third one. So you can play around your playlist very easily. And this is my timeline that shows me what time is it now, and when this playlist, what duration this playlist item have, and what time it will be when it will start playing. So if I will start the playback right now, I can see that it goes with the timeline, and if I pause this, my playlist will stop at this point, and I can see the timeline is moving over there. Okay, that's the timeline, and basically that's all the controls we have here. We also have a virtual device flag here and CG enable flags. The virtual device enables the virtual direct show source that can be used inside the, for example, flash media live encoder, just like a web camera. The output stream of this sample can be used just like a virtual device, and this one enables the character generator that can be configured from using these buttons. I will not give you a tour over the CG configuration because it's very complicated and it takes much time. But you can play around with it, take a look at our documentation, and let us know what do you think. Okay guys, that's it. That's our playlist sample. Play around with it and let us know what do you want to see inside it. What do we need to improve inside it. tell us your requests and your thoughts. We will be glad to hear back from you. Okay, that's it. Goodbye and have a nice day.